Archie and Lilibet, which you can understand. It's been a very long time since he's seen them. What's it?
Did indeed send a birthday present to Lilibet. He has only met her once. It seems an awful shame, doesn't it, that the relationship between himself and Archie and Lilibet has been...
It's underlying sadness, of course, because of the rift that the king is not seeing his grandchildren. I think he's only met Lilibet possibly once, and Archie only a couple of...
What if I told you that Meghan's conspicuous absence from Harry's latest UK visit wasn't about avoiding drama? It was about protecting her legal position in the custody war that's already begun? While everyone focused on Charles rejecting his grandchildren, the real story was happening 5,000 miles away in California. Meghan wasn't just staying silent, she was preparing for battle. By the end of this video, you'll understand why this wasn't a family reunion gone wrong. It was the opening move in a custody chess match that could redefine modern royal succession forever. Before we dive in, here's what nobody's connecting about this royal drama. Harry's demand to bring Archie and Lilibet inside Buckingham Palace wasn't about grandfather-grandchildren bonding. It was about establishing legal residency claims in the UK. Think about it. Harry has been fighting the Home Office for years, claiming Britain is too dangerous for his family. He lost that court battle spectacularly, yet suddenly he's demanding his American-born children access the most secure royal fortress in the world. The contradiction is staggering. Unless you understand this isn't about security, it's about custody jurisdiction. Legal experts whisper that if Harry can prove the UK is a legitimate base for his children through royal recognition, it fundamentally changes the legal landscape. California courts versus British courts. American law versus Commonwealth tradition. Meghan's control versus Harry's desperation. This is California versus the Crown, and the weapons are two children who don't even know they're pawns in an international legal war. The turning point came when royal insiders revealed something chilling. Harry's request wasn't just about palace access. Sources claim he demanded full financial support, royal treatment, and protocol recognition for both children. But here's where it gets strategic. Harry timed this move perfectly. Meghan had just distanced herself from his previous UK visits, twice refusing to leave California airports. The marriage was showing cracks, and Harry knew it. Legal analysts started connecting dots. If Harry could establish the children's UK royal status independently of Meghan, he gains massive leverage in any future custody battle. The kids become British royals with legitimate claims, not just American celebrities with famous parents. Charles understood immediately. This wasn't a grandfather being asked to hug his grandchildren. This was a calculated attempt to use royal recognition as legal ammunition in a custody war. The palace's swift rejection wasn't cruelty. It was institutional self-preservation, because once you photograph those children inside Buckingham Palace with the king, that image becomes evidence in perpetuity, proof of belonging, legal standing, royal recognition. Charles wasn't just protecting protocol. He was refusing to become an unwitting participant in Harry and Meghan's custody endgame. The monarchy doesn't take sides in divorces, especially when the institution itself becomes the weapon. Sources close to the situation reveal she viewed Harry's palace gambit as betrayal. They had agreed to raise the children in California, away from royal influence. Now Harry was unilaterally trying to establish UK royal connections without her consent. The genius of Meghan's absence becomes clear. By staying in California, she avoided any implication of endorsing Harry's strategy. No photos of her at Buckingham Palace, no quotes supporting royal reconciliation, no evidence she approved this custody power play. But here's the cruel calculation. Harry's public humiliation actually strengthened Meghan's legal position. Every headline about him being rejected by his own father paints him as unstable, desperate, and detached from reality. Perfect ammunition for any custody attorney. Meanwhile, Meghan remains the stable parent in California, successfully building their children's lives away from royal dysfunction. She's not the one dragging kids across oceans for photo opportunities. She's not the one demanding access to institutions that have rejected her family. The legal implications are staggering. If Harry continues this pattern of erratic behavior, using the children as emotional weapons, any family court would notice. Meghan's strategic distance protects her from being seen as complicit in Harry's increasingly desperate moves. Charles played this perfectly too. By rejecting Harry's request publicly, he created legal precedent. The palace has officially stated these children are not welcome under current circumstances. That eliminates any future claims of royal recognition or UK residential legitimacy. This is where the psychological warfare gets brutal. Harry thought he was playing emotional chess, but Meghan and Charles were playing legal chess 3 moves ahead. The cruel genius of this situation is how it exploits Harry's fundamental weakness, his need for institutional validation. Stripped of royal duties, military roles, and family connections, Harry's identity crisis makes him vulnerable to manipulation. Meghan understood this. Every rejection from the palace pushes Harry further into desperation, making him more dependent on her California-based life. She doesn't need to control him directly. The royal family's coldness does it for her. But here's what transforms this from family drama into psychological warfare. The children become weapons in multiple directions. Harry uses them to demand palace access. Meghan uses their protection as justification for keeping them in California. Charles uses their absence to demonstrate the consequences of royal rebellion. None of the adults are prioritizing what's actually best for Archie and Lilibet. They're prioritizing what serves their strategic positions in this three-way custody Cold War. The palace sources reveal another layer. Charles isn't just rejecting Harry's current request. He's establishing a pattern of documented rejection that could last years. Every time Harry tries this strategy, the answer will be the same. No access, no recognition, no royal validation. This creates a legal and emotional prison for Harry. He can't prove UK legitimacy for his children, which weakens any custody claims. He can't demonstrate royal family acceptance, which undermines his entire post-royal identity. He becomes increasingly isolated, desperate, and legally vulnerable. Meghan doesn't have to file for divorce or custody. She just has to wait for Harry to destroy his own credibility through increasingly erratic attempts to force royal recognition. The most devastating aspect? Every failed attempt makes the next one harder. Courts notice patterns of instability. The media notices desperation. Even Harry's supporters start questioning his judgment. So who really won this round? The answer isn't who you'd expect. Meghan achieved total victory without even showing up. She's now positioned as the stable parent protecting her children from royal dysfunction. Harry looks like the unstable parent trying to drag kids into hostile territory for his own emotional needs. Charles won institutionally by establishing precedent. The monarchy will not be manipulated by custody warfare. Future royals attempting similar strategies will face the same wall of rejection. But Harry, he lost everything. His credibility as a stable father, his leverage in any custody dispute, his hope of royal reconciliation, even his public sympathy, because the optics of using children as emotional weapons backfire spectacularly. The brutal cost-benefit analysis is stark. Harry gained nothing and lost massive credibility. Meghan gained legal positioning while appearing to take the high road. Charles protected the institution while appearing to be the responsible grandfather setting boundaries. Legal experts predict this pattern will accelerate. Harry's desperation will drive more erratic behavior. Each failed attempt at royal recognition weakens his position further. Meanwhile, Meghan builds a stable California life that any court would favor for the children's primary residence. The ripple effects extend beyond custody. Harry's brand value in Hollywood depends on royal proximity and relevance. Every public rejection from the palace diminishes his marketability. Netflix and other partners want access to royal insider knowledge, not the desperate flailing of an exiled family member. Charles understands this economic warfare too. By consistently rejecting Harry's attempts at reconciliation, he's slowly strangling Harry's post-royal career. No royal access means no insider content. No insider content means no Hollywood deals. No Hollywood deals means financial dependence on Meghan. This custody warfare template will echo through other high-profile divorces and family conflicts for years to come. Watch for this pattern in other celebrity custody battles. One parent tries to establish legitimacy through institutional recognition while the other maintains strategic distance. The parent who appears more stable and less desperate usually wins. Corporate family dynasties will study this too. When family members rebel against business institutions, then try to use children as leverage for re-entry, the template is set. Institutional patience defeats individual desperation every time. Political families facing similar dynamics will recognize these strategies. The exiled family member who tries to force recognition through emotional manipulation typically destroys their own credibility. The institution that maintains boundaries while appearing reasonable wins public perception. The legal implications reshape international custody law. When children have dual citizenship and their parents live in different countries, establishing legitimate residence claims becomes crucial. This case demonstrates how institutional recognition can be weaponized in custody disputes. Future royal rebels will remember Harry's failure. Using children as emotional leverage against the monarchy doesn't work. It strengthens the institution's position while weakening the rebels' credibility. The template now exists for how the palace handles these situations. Most importantly, this establishes new precedent for how modern monarchies protect themselves from family warfare. Emotional blackmail using children will be met with institutional coldness. The crown's survival instinct overrides familial sentiment. In your own life, when you see someone using children as leverage in family conflicts, remember this moment. The parent who appears more desperate usually loses. The one who maintains boundaries while appearing reasonable typically wins custody disputes. Courts and public opinion favor stability over emotional manipulation. If you ever find yourself in Harry's position, remember that desperation weakens your legal standing. Using children to force family reconciliation backfires spectacularly. Building an independent, stable life serves your custody interests better than dramatic gestures. If you're on the receiving end of this manipulation, Charles's strategy works. Set clear boundaries, document the other person's erratic behavior. Let their desperation speak for itself rather than engaging emotionally. The broader lesson applies to any situation where someone leaves an institution, then tries to use emotional leverage to return. Whether it's family businesses, social groups, or professional organizations, the same principle applies. Institutions survive by refusing to reward emotional blackmail. The person who confuses desperation for strategy will always lose to the one who maintains patient boundaries. The player who uses children as weapons reveals their own instability and ultimately loses the war they thought they were winning.